What's up, guys? It's Take a Look here, bringing you a Night of Champions review, having just watched a bloody pay-per-view myself. Don't really know what to say, man. Don't really know where to start. It's fucking crazy as it is mental, but you know, starting off with the simplest and easiest one, the pre-show. The pre-show was good. Lots of false finishes. I didn't actually watch this one myself, but I heard it from my partner in crime, Long Dick Sham. You can check his channel out in the description below. Lots of false finishes, although I do know that Stardust and the Ascension won, so that was fucking brilliant. At least Stardust now gets good character direction and everything else. You know, fucking the Ascension have a bit of momentum. Neville and the Lucha Dragons can afford the loss because they got the babyface popularity. The show opener, Ryback versus Kevin Owens, going on to that just quickly now we can begin on the proper review, was a really good pace. Ryback needed a change of direction. You know, the IC title wasn't really suiting him, chosen as the heir to Daniel Bryan, but you know, you could argue that he wasn't really meant to be. Owens needed to win to be taken seriously again, I'd say, after his back-to-back losses to John Cena, I believe. Was it Money in the Bank, and what was the one after Money in the Bank? Battleground. There you go. He lost. You know, he lost then. Great in-ring presence used by Owens for the win. The rake to the eyes of Ryback. You know, it's a tactical heel move that also keeps Ryback looking strong. You know, it doesn't harm him too much. You know, they'll probably have a rematch in Hell in a Cell. But then, you know, Owens, I feel, can really elevate. You know, they can really elevate that match. And here's an interesting thing now. Like, if they wanted to go down the unification road with the two mid-card titles, and I feel that is what they were going for at the beginning of the year when Bryan and Cena were both champions. You know, they'd have them meet down the road somewhere and have them basically, you know, duke it out to see who's the main mid-card champion, so to speak. They could have an Owens and Cena feud again, but over the titles, with Owens winning the US title from Cena at the same time. Don't unify them just yet, but you know, maybe, you know, because then that'll tie them up at 2-2, and then the fifth and final match could be, oh well, you know, whoever wins this is the undisputed blah 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 champion. They could name it a new, like, WWE, I don't know. You know, something along that, Intercontinental United States champion or some bullshit like that. That'll be a good way to go. But nonetheless, Ryback needed new direction, and that was a brilliant way for him to get it. Rusev versus Ziggler for the third match. You know, moving on to that now. Let me just say two things to start off with. A, if you think Rusev is not the babyface, don't get me wrong, WWE aren't playing him off as such. But if you have real world morals, and if you understand the real world, then you probably, you know, you probably do see that Rusev is the babyface in this, like, in real life terms. Like, he's trying to defend the honor of his woman, while Dolph Ziggler and fucking Summer Rae are sneaking, you know, off behind his back and fucking doing all this jewelry passing bullshit, running out naked in the fucking towels and all this bollocks. But needless to say, WWE are still playing Rusev as the heel. I expected a double turn from this match. That did not happen. But what did happen, however, you know, the match itself was very good paced. It was decent. Rusev being the dominant aggressor, really, you know, coming off strong in the match itself. But the finish was kind of weird. Summer Rae, I just can't fucking stand her whining, man. Like, honestly, her voice is not made for promos or mic work or anything like that. And that's not a fucking criticism of her. It's just like, you know, it's just an observation. But she threw one of her shoes, you know, towards the stage area. Then she threw fucking another one of her shoes at Rusev. It hit Rusev anyway. The referee was standing in between them. Ziggler hits the zigzag, and you know, from the finish you could say Summer Rae was setting up a heel turn. Initially, you know, in my notes I had for herself, but you know, she's already a heel. But maybe Ziggler will eventually turn heel, you know, on Rusev again. But I think this feud might be over now. But what the question is, what do you do with Lana? She's still out injured. She's got that All-American babyface thing going on at the minute. So what if you have Lana come back, right, and I don't know when she'll be back. See, this is the hard thing. You don't know when Lana will be back, but you got to have Rusev and Ziggler, Rusev and Lana unite as baby faces, as the good guys. Because the interesting thing from that theory would be, come on man, like, it's the classic reversal of like the high school bully with the hot chick. Why don't you have someone that stands up for everything and fucking, you know, gets the hot chick? Like, I find it really cool that Rusev stands up for his bloody country. And, you know, the fact that they're together in real life, you know, fucking hell, go for it. Pull the trigger on a Rusev babyface turn. You know, they got that Braun fucking Strowman or whatever his name is to fill the big monster heel gap that Rusev have. So, you know, I guess that wouldn't be such a bad idea in general. Right, anyway, fourth match, the New Day versus the Dudley Boys. And let me just tell you this, the New Day are over as fuck. They are like ridiculously, I don't know if they're funny, I don't know if they're just idiots, I don't know if Biggie's gay, I don't know what the hell goes on, man, the way he dances with his tongue out and all that bollocks. But I will say this, the New Day needed to retain here, and that is exactly what had happened. But the dilemma was, how do you keep the returning Dudley Boys looking strong? In the match itself, they looked great. They looked like they hadn't aged a bit. You know, as I said, it was important to let the New Day keep the belts, but the ending segment made the Dudleys still look strong. Essentially, the Dudley Boys almost had the win, but the pin was broken by Xavier Woods, who was on the outside, I believe, causing a DQ. So basically, you know, the New Day started beating down on the Dudleys, like, you know, setting up that fucking heel beatdown. I thought someone was going to run in and make the save, but it didn't turn out like that. It just turned out as like the New Day getting overconfident, and then the Dudley Boys, the New Day initially wanted to put the Dudley Boys through a table, so much for the save the table bollocks. But yeah, they didn't manage to do that, and one New Day member ended up getting 3D through the table. So you got to imagine that sets up a rematch for Hell in a Cell, which is quite good. I feel like the Dudley Boys should probably take the titles at Hell in a Cell. You know, and then fucking trade it back to the New Day, possibly at Survivor Series or maybe TLC. So, where are we now? Basically, we're at the fifth match. You know, I'm just thinking of the best way to express this without being too harsh. Thank fuck, Nikki Bella is no longer champion. That's all I've got to say about it. The match, from my perspective, did seem kind of off. It did seem kind of fucked up, but, you know, I wouldn't worry about it too much. You know, fuck Nikki Bella. Charlotte was good. Nice emotional moment with Ric Flair in the end, and that's the end of that. As long as fucking Vicky is not... Vicky? What the hell? As long as fucking Nikki is not champion anymore, I'm happy. In fact, I'd probably rather Vicky Guerrero as the fucking champion, to say the least. Number 6, the sixth match on the card was Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns and the mystery partner versus the Wyatt family, Luke Harper, that Strowman fucking dude. I don't know how to fucking pronounce his first name. All I know, he's a big motherfucker. I wouldn't like to meet him in a dark alley. And of course, Bray Wyatt. Had a feeling myself that the mystery partner would be Jericho, due to the history like that they had. You've got to remember, one of Jericho's last matches last year was the Wyatt family. I was feuding with the Wyatt family last match with Bray and all that. I felt like this match was good, but I don't know. Jericho as a mystery partner kind of fell flat. I don't know exactly what it was, but it did nonetheless. The match was good itself. You know, they kept that Braun Strowman guy looking strong. The Wyatts surprisingly went over in my predictions. Actually, you'll see that that's only one of two things I only got wrong all night. So I thought they would put Roman over, you know, a little pet project, but they didn't. They put the Wyatt dudes over, which was good. At the end of the match, it looked like Roman and Ambrose were about to deliver a Shield-style beatdown on Jericho, but that actually didn't happen, because I was thinking they were thinking about pulling Roman as a heel or Ambrose as a heel. I thought they were going to do them both in one go for a minute there. It didn't turn out like that exactly. Jericho heel turn, kind of did happen. He just walked off, like, you know, when he did his old egotistical hypocrites, cowardly jellyfish, all that nonsense, when he would just walk around in a suit with a scowl. That's kind of how it was. So yeah, basically then obviously the main event of the night, Seth Rollins has 2 matches. Now, it has to be said, and I don't care if you disagree with me. If you disagree with me, that's up to you. You know, I'm still grateful for you watching, and you know, that's one thing we're going to disagree on. But Seth is the greatest wrestler alive today. The athleticism, the way he makes moves look legit. I just don't know, man. And the guy pulled essentially triple duty. More on that later. Now, it was always a thing. It was always a feeling that John Cena would win back the United States Championship, and that's what happened. But with that, I have to say, I feel like WWE missed a chance to make Seth a serious player. Can you imagine if someone would beat John Cena and fucking Sting back to back? Not saying he did beat Sting necessarily, but you know, that would fucking missed a serious chance. But at least with John Cena, we get the open challenges back, and as I mentioned earlier on, now that John Cena, I didn't say John Cena won the belt back earlier on, I don't think, but now that Cena does have the belt back, you know, that might open it up to a unification thing with Owens, which is exactly what was planned. Cena won clean with the AA, that was a pretty decent match, to be honest. But after the match, fucking Seth just got bullied, man. That's the best way to describe it. Cena hitting like an AA on him on the outside, rolling him back in the ring. Sting fucking like came down, and that looked like the end of it. It really did. But somehow, some way, like Seth kept the momentum flowing. You know, he was still in the match somehow. One particular spot that I don't know what the fuck happened, man. Sting's kidney area / lower back, like, took a beating all night, especially Sting's shoulder blades, but more on that a bit later. Like, basically, Seth just kind of pushed Sting through the Spanish announce table. Sting looked kind of hurt after that. Don't think too legit, if you know what I mean, but he was nonetheless. So it was a pretty much back and forth match after that. There was 1 or 2 false finishes where, you know, fucking Sting had Seth Rollins in the submission, basically, and that looked like that was going to be it. There was one point after that Seth he done his running powerbomb in the corner, and it looked like Sting, he bumped quite hard, like on his shoulder blades, like near the scapular kind of area, and he looked like legitimately injured. There was at one point when, you know, the classic clothesline, like running off the ropes and trying to duck a clothesline, then hit the opponent with one back. That was meant to happen, but Sting just fell. He looked quite legitimately injured, so the best of luck to the Stinger in getting better. Like, that's never nice to see. But then they decided to finish the match quite quickly after that. I don't think that it was the intended finish to give Sting the belt, but they ended it quite quickly. Seth beat Sting with a roll up, and then you guessed it, after that Sheamus bloody came out, fucking looking stupid as usual. Like, Jesus Christ. Bro kicks fucking Seth Rollins, goes to cash in the Money in the Bank. I'm thinking, fuck me, man. Anyone is champion but this guy, and it just doesn't seem to fucking be that way. You know, it's just absolutely fucking mental. There's no way that this guy can be the fucking champion, man. I'm just going mental at this point. Like, I can't handle Sheamus, man. And just when it looked like he would fucking, you know, pick the scraps after he bro kicked Seth himself, Kane, complete with masked attire. Yes, the demon is back, thank God. Fucking, he came down to the ring. I went mental because, like, you know, I thought that he was going to help Seth Rollins. Obviously, all logic evaded me for a second. My WWE Network stream froze, so I was on the phone to Long Dick, and he just told me that Kane fucking chokeslam Seth Rollins. I lost my shit. Like, I was like, oh my days. But then I got it back in time to see fucking Kane chokeslam Sheamus as well. So it's all good. Sheamus is out of the picture, and Seth Rollins gets fucking tombstoned. and leaves Kane standing over him like a bitch. So essentially that's what happened. The Demon Kane came back and kicked ass. Seth Rollins is still one champion at least, which is probably where we should be at. No one man should hold the 2 belts, because obviously that lessens the chances for other competitors. Cena's open challenges are back, and it looks like Kane versus Seth Rollins will be the feud going forward. And do you know what? I say fuck it. Give the title to Kane at Hell in a Cell. You know what? The Demon's probably retiring fucking in a couple of years, or 1 year or a month or something, or fucking some bullshit like that. Give Kane one more devastating title run and give him like a 3-month long, 2-month long title reign just to say thank you. That's what I bloody think. Other interesting things to note from the pay-per-view is that fucking Brock Lesnar will be taking on Undertaker at Hell in a Cell. I'm hoping Kane will somehow get involved in that, because I don't want Lesnar to fucking win. But there you go. Anyway, guys, that's it for the Night of Champions review. It's fucking run over by about 2 minutes now, so I'm going to put in like another fucking little match for you guys to watch, while you're fucking basically on this video. So it's not just like 2 blank minutes of me talking. But other than that, I thought it was a fucking solid pay-per-view. It was probably it was definitely the most, for me, probably one of the most interesting pay-per-views all year round. Big points to take away from that, really, if you want me to sum it up easily. The pre-show was very decent. Stardust got the momentum he needed to, at least be somewhat relevant. Kevin Owens is back with full momentum. Ryback needed a change of direction. Rusev, I don't know what needs to happen with him now. The Ziggler feud kind of looks finished. Maybe Summer Rae, Ziggler, fucking I don't know. New Day needed to win. Dudley Boyz still looks strong, which is fantastic. Thank God Charlotte won the belt. That's all. That's all, literally. I have little tiny notes, little specks of things that I went over before I done this review. And all it says with the Charlotte and Nikki Bella match is that, thank God Charlotte won the belt. That's it. I've literally wrote the words, that's it. I have no more time for Nikki Bella. Sorry, Charlotte. My fucking hope is that you'll be Divas champion for 310 days. Just so you beat Nikki Bella. But I will say this. AJ Lee, in my opinion, is the greatest Divas champion there has ever been, man. And I was happy when Paige beat her. I'm not gonna lie. Still am. But fuck me. If that fucking bitch Nikki Bella deserves to beat her record, then I fucking deserve, I don't know, to be alone for the rest of my life. Whatever. Random thing to say, but it's the truth, man. I just can't deal with Nikki Bella at all. It's just crazy how Nikki Bella fucking off. Anyway, moving on. Jericho's the mystery partner was kind of a letdown. I don't know if the actual thing was, or whether it was just the fact there was a bit of a letdown. I don't know why, really. Can't really expand on it more than that. But then again, we should be grateful that we didn't get Orton or fucking Eric Rowan, something like that. As I said, Seth Rollins, greatest competitor in the world today, surely. Absolutely, there's no way he's not. Pulling double duty one after another 2-man, that's crazy. 4 matches too. As I said, WWE missed a chance to make Seth a serious player, but at least we have the open challenges back. Sting looks like he was legitimately hurt, so, I hope it's not too serious, but those neck/back injuries can be a bit, sketchy. Sheamus is clearly not ready yet. I don't think Sheamus will ever be ready to hold the belt again. The only thing that's cool about him is his entrance. So happy to see the Demon Kane. Fucking so pleased that he's raising hell. It's bloody mental. But, it's a good chance to give Kane one more title reign before he retires. Anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to leave you. You can also find this review on Long Dick Champ's channel, which will be in the fucking link below. That's Long Dick Sham. For whatever reason, he chose to name his YouTube channel that. But that link will be in the description down below. He does like WWE, like loads of kind of more retro content than I do. Loads more Defeat the Streaks, loads more Defeat the Cenas and stuff like that. So pop over there if you do get a chance. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching this review. This has been Take a Look. Thank God Nikki Bella is not champion anymore. I'm out. Peace.